Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz, October 11, 2018, 10:45 p.m. Birmingham. And topic is, are we closer to martial law? And I think, yes, I think we may be a little bit closer than I originally thought. I really originally thought that it would be November 9 in 10, 11, in that area when they'd light out the gangs and the crazies to start burning and looting. Well, it may be sooner because did you see or hear about the number of those protesters at the Senate today? That even made the senators uncomfortable. Not only that, that's very dangerous what they did. Very dangerous. So with that, I believe that things are going to be expedited just a little bit quicker because as long as Maxine Waters and Pelosi and Soros keeps the mud stirred up, no one is going to find their way out of this mess. They're going to keep it stirred up until someone really gets hurt, and that won't stop them. But what it's going to do is go ahead and unleash the dogs, bring out martial law. And it is for these protesters. It is for these, like in Ferguson, Missouri, if they had a martial law there and every protester was locked up, then they wouldn't have been doing that. But like in Ferguson, Missouri, and then East LA, and when they were rioting, they would have burned that city because O.J. Simpson was on trial. They found him not guilty, not because he was not guilty. They found him not guilty because they did not want the city to burn. He did the crime. And as time passed, he is still doing the time for it. But people thought about the multi-million, $100 million damage that could have been done, that more than likely would have been. They chose to free him. But now there's a better way. It's silly to turn a criminal loose. If that's the case, then there's about 55,000 on these indictments. We need to just tear them up. I would choose, like the rest of them, call martial law, and any of these protesters, anyone out here doing any of these things, you have 9 o'clock curfew. Martial law is not going to lock you up because you're out past 9. It'll lock you up at 9 a.m. or noon if you're out there causing problems. Martial law is set as peacekeepers and peacemakers. They're not out here set if you're out after 9 p.m. because you'll do all your damage before that. So martial law may be called, if this continues, and Waters and Pelosi, they're going to have to pay the price for what they're doing. You know that. If they're out here doing this, and it's creating problems, beginning to cost a lot of people a lot of money, and it's going to lead into riots, and I mean gang riots, looting severely, and the only line of defense is going to be the suburbs. The suburbs won't allow these idiots in to destroy their communities and towns the way they did the inner cities. But martial law is not going to allow them to destroy the inner cities either. So that's what it's for. And they're about to release something that's coming quicker than I thought later. Again, the sealed documents, they're going to go ahead with this. They've already started on some. Some have been taken, some have been locked up. A lot of people in other countries have been locked up. and scurried away, and they're still taking the ones that you don't notice. And they'll get the big dogs soon, the ones who really tried to bring a coup upon our country, the United States, against President Trump. They're going down and they're going away. And you know who they are. We've been talking about them, and Hannity's been talking about them now for a year and a half. So we know who they are. We saw them all poke their heads up at the Kavanaugh confirmation. You saw all of them. They said, "Here I am," and stuck their head right up, and now we know who they are. They'll be easy to locate and to find. So when the sealed indictments are going forward, and when the Democrats loses their behind, because even today, again, Waters let her mouth overload her behind and said something stupid to go out there and get in their face, cause problems if you have to stand out in front of the car. Well, Waters, you're going to be on that sealed indictment list. Pelosi, you are too. And all of you who try to put this coup together, we know who you are now. And martial law won't get you, but Trump's federal government will. And it'll all be military style. Everything will go by the military rules. And you'll not have time to go get you a fancy lawyer and set it out for years and years and years. It's going to be something that's going to be decided in a day, and you're going to go down and go away. And a lot of stuff's going to happen, and Q keeps telling everyone, trust Sessions, trust Sessions. Well, we have to do that because Silverstein's about to go, or Rosenstein's about to go. That's getting closer, and because he's disobeyed the president one time too many, and Attorney General Sessions and Trump, it's about time for them to go ahead and get together and just introduce their master plan, which is what it's been all along. And when that happens, then you're going to have Mueller to come in and lay out all his paperwork and say, here we are, and there's nothing on President Trump. And then all the redacted information, the notes, the letters, the text, all this is going to be laid out, and there's going to be no blackout on it. And people will find out who the problem has been all along. It's been a coup, and there's been a liberal mess with the media trying to cover that up and pull attention in other directions. All along, they've known this, and it's because everyone has sold out for Hillary Clinton to wrap this country up in a neat little ball titled Agenda 21 and hand it to the Pope and to the UN, where we would have been dissected and gone. But God had a different plan for the United States. Trump will be here for 2 terms. He has 6 more years to go. This country will prosper just like the prophecy from Kim Clement said it would. And the mud hole, the dark government, the shadow government, it's all the same thing. They're going down. They're the ones taking $1 trillion a year off the top and putting it in their funds and their pockets and their pet projects that they've been doing for 50 years. That is gone. It's over. Trump's military is going to see to it that they're all going to go down with the sealed indictments. And then we're going to have a government that the Bill of Rights and that the Constitution said we would have on day one. 200 years ago. Jody Wolf, Expoz.